Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Please be joined by Novi head football coach Jim Sparks. How are you?
I'm doing great, Casey. Thanks for having me.
Well, let's talk about how camp has gone this week. Today is a big day because now all teams are now allowed to use full pads. So what's going to be the excitement level at practice today, knowing that you can wear the full pads?
You got to kind of do your best to contain it a little bit because the kids, they get the pads on, they're ready to smack around. But the truth is, not having them on, they kind of got to get acclimated to having the pads on. So like your movement gets restricted a little bit. So you can't necessarily, just because you put the full pads on, be full game speed right out of the gate. So you kind of got to gear up to it. It's kind of exciting because you kind of got to reel the kids in throughout the course of the day because they want to get going. But you got to make sure you're looking out for their well-being and take it incrementally and build them up to hopefully what will have a very physical team this fall.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's talk about some of the returners coming back for you guys. We'll start with the skill positions with the quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and then we'll go from there.
Sure. Yeah, we're very fortunate at the quarterback position. We have incredible depth there. Like we have Caleb coming back, who will be a senior who got quite a bit of game experience last year and has had a good camp. Like is looking stronger. He worked on his agility in the offseason, so it's really paying off. And then, like I said, we have a junior quarterback, Johnny Aurelia, who's a talented athlete himself. They both have different skill sets, so they're both going to bring different things to the table. And practice is exciting because there's not really a drop off between the two of them. They're pushing each other, and it's going to end up being a great situation for both kids in the long run.
Yeah. Okay. Where are we at running back, wide receiver wise?
Running back, again, we have some incredible depth there. We have 3 or 4 guys taking reps. We have Lance Galliard back from last year, who's a 100-meter guy on our track team and incredibly strong for his size. We got a young man from the JV, Logan Ellison, who is he's your Swiss Army knife. We can play him in the slot, we can move him around. And then Jason Zhao and Bryce Abney have joined the fray there, and as young guys from the JV as well. And it's great to see that group progress. Wide receiver is probably the position group on our team where we have the most experience coming back. We have several kids with varsity experience. Bowden Fernsler, Andrew Kummer, they both started there last year. We bring in a wealth of experienced receivers from the JV as well. Guys like Jaden Vendrasek, Alex Wilson, Keegan Lickowitz, and we have a 6'5" receiver, Soleil Cox. So really excited about the receiver group. When you have good skills, it doesn't necessarily always parlay to wins, but it always makes you a real exciting team to watch. And I think that's what people will find if they make their way to the 6th this season.
Yeah, of course. You also named a couple of guys that have experience, but state championship experience as well.
Yeah, we have a few guys. We have a few guys that'll be wearing some bling, some rings on the finger shortly, for their accomplishments they have in the spring. And that's just brought a extra level of excitement, knowing that you have a group of guys that went through that experience. And we're all eager to learn from them, even myself, and hopefully some of their good fortune will rub off on us.
All right, let's go to the offensive and defensive line. Where are we at in that?
Okay, offensive defensive line. A lot of competition in those two groups. We lost some significant players, but we had some guys that in the off season recognized they had an opportunity to contribute and worked incredibly hard. So along the line we have returning starter Nathan Ponos, who I can't say enough about the work he's put in the off season. I think he put on close to 40-50 pounds of muscle in the off season. So he's going to be a really good contributor for us. We have, I could go on with these guys. The competition is so fierce down there for playing time. We got guys like senior Garrett Green, senior Marcus Brown down there. I don't want to leave anybody out. We got a really big young man from the JV, Gavin Prisbilla, stands about 6'5", 270 out there. So, he's a little raw, but he's getting better every day. Nolan Thompson, he'll be a senior for us who has some experience along the O-line. And we even had a young man move from St. Clair Shores into Novi, DeMonte Andrews, and he's looked real good. He's a quality young man, and despite the fact he's a good player, he's going to add a lot of character to our team. And I apologize if I left anybody out. They're all down there grinding, and I'm sure at some point throughout the year I'll be able to throw those guys some props. But love those O-line guys, truly the backbone of our team. It's really exciting to watch those guys progress through camp.
Absolutely. All right, let's go to the linebackers and secondary.
Okay, linebackers. We've got Thad Lawler. He's got game experience. He's a returner for us last year. He's going to have an increased role on our defense, leading that linebacker core. And then again, a lot of young players down there really competing for spots. We got Mario Mimin-Larry. We got Steve Bajulian, who will be a senior. We've got Bryce Abney's taking reps down there at that linebacker, as well as Nolan Thompson. So again, sometimes as a coach, when you have a position where you lost key players like we did, it really makes for camp the next year really interesting, because those kids see an opportunity to play. So the competition in those position groups is really fun to watch, and that's what we have going on at our linebackers and our DBs, because we lost several guys there as well. But we've got some guys who really they were backup roles last season, went out and ran track, and really increased their speed, really increased their athleticism. So we've got guys like Josh Jenkins and Nate Johnson, as well as some of our underclassmen like Alex Wilson, Keegan Lickwitz, plenty of guys down there. Safeties, Johnny Aurelius taking reps back there, along with Dylan Lazowski, Brandon Mills. Those are some names to keep your eyes out for as they're competing, daily, to see if they can't get on the field.
Absolutely. Special teams.
Special teams. That one, don't really have a definitive answer for you on that one. We've got some guys coming on over, soccer converts out there working, looking good. They can kick the ball a mile. We're just trying to get them to work through the mechanics of the exchange between the center, the holder, punting with 10 guys bearing down on you. We'll get there. We have 2 guys right now. Keep our eye on. I'll get back to you on it.
All right. Okay, so we've talked about the guys. Now let's talk about the schedule. I know the big story in the KLAA this year is the opening up of week 1, and you guys decided to go out and get Sterling Heights Stevenson. They're going to be coming to I believe they are coming to Novi week number 1. So that's going to be good, but I'll just run through the schedule really quick. That's the wrong year. All right, here we go. So you'll start off at home against Sterling Heights Stevenson, and then you'll be August 31st at Heartland, September 8th at Canton, September 15th home against Brighton, September 22nd at Salem, September 29th home against Plymouth, October 6th at Howell, October 13th home against Northville, and the crossover game will be on October 20th. That will be away, as the KLAA East teams will be hosting this year. So obviously what this division will bring, and what's it going to be like playing Sterling Heights Stevenson coming in there, and then of course how this division is. You never know what could happen in this division.
Right. So the Sterling Heights Stevenson, I think that is a great move by the KLAA. I spent close to 30 years coaching in the MAC conference. Yeah. And we did a similar thing too, we compete against each other as league teams week in and week out, but there's a brotherhood amongst us teams out here. So before when we would play within each other, the East West, week one, we were kind of cannibalizing our own selves. So, you had percent of the league started the season with a loss. So going outside the conference, I think it does a lot of positives. Number one, there's an opportunity for more teams in our league to start off the season 1-0. We're not limited to that 50%. There's no guarantees, but it gives us an opportunity to represent our conference, and for us to face a MAC Red opponent is super exciting for us, especially those of us that have experience, competing in the MAC, but at lower levels. We always hear how MAC Red is considered one of the prestige conferences in the state of Michigan, along with ours as well. So, we're excited to do our part to represent our conference and hopefully match up well against a MAC Red team and show what the KLA is all about. And I truly wish all of our other league mates the same thing. It would be great to see us run the table week one and show some dominance for what we do out here in this conference.
Absolutely. All right. So I did mention the week of practice, but what are the biggest things that you want to see out of today and really into next week as we start the scrimmages?
Come out healthy. Like, that's the number one thing. Like, you want to, it's a delicate balance. Like, you want to build up that callus. You want to be physical. You want to build that culture of trying to be physically dominant, but at the same time, you can't guys through a meat grinder. You got to have, in order for us to compete at our best, we got to have all hands on deck come week one. So, it's kind of tough because as coaches, you want to get going, you want to get the kids smacking around a little bit, but like I mentioned earlier, their well-being is best, and we want to make sure week one we're ready to go.
All right. Hey, one more thing I do want to ask.
Sure.
I know you've been in Novi for 3 years, but I know this season's going to look a lot different because a certain someone will not be there. Of course, I would be obliged to mention, if I'm not interviewing anyone from Novi, to mention the late Tom Marcus, who passed away before the Novi baseball state championship. The guy that ran up and down the field,
Sure.
the famous Marcus burgers. They were
Yep.
good, by the way. I know it's a staple in the Novi community. What's it going to be like? I know it's going to be pretty tough not seeing him there this year.
Yeah, I mean, he's been a fixture since I got here, and as coming to Novi and truly really not knowing many people at all, Marcus was one of the first guys to reach out to me, and just made me feel welcome from day one. And I got the feeling that win or lose, Marcus was going to be standing behind me and the boys. And it goes beyond just football. I mean, he's had all the softball games. He's at every basketball game. He's he's a true example of a servant leader, and we all looked for him to set the tone. And when times might be down, he could always turn behind you and there'd be with a smile on his face and the flag waving. So to say he's going to be missed would be an understatement. Hopefully, I know he's going to be looking down on us, every Friday night for the next 10 weeks or so. So, hopefully we'll do our part and make him proud wherever he is.
Well, Jim, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us, and best of luck to the Wildcats this season.
All right, Casey, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure.